Okay. Well, first question is why have you decided to run?
Sorry, one second. Yeah, in terms of running for Congress, uh, I ran in 2024. Sorry, one moment. Let me just get my phone here. There we are. Um, I ran in 2024, and the reason why I decided to run for Congress in 2024, and it's still the same as 2026, is public service is something that's very important to me. And initially, I became involved with my community back in about 2020. But to public service, that led me to community. How can I contribute to helping my community become a better place? What can I do? And it starts locally.
Yeah.
And that still rings true today, even though things have drastically changed in such a terrible and negative way, not just for the United States, not just for the 32nd district, but for the entire world. And I
Yeah.
think you're in Spain, correct? And
Yeah.
we face authoritarianism on such a level that we haven't seen in a very long time. But public
Yeah.
service is very important to me.
All right. So what are the main issues that you want to prioritize?
We put a lot of issues on our website, but the main issues that I think a lot of the people in the 32nd district, which Brad Sherman is the representative that I am challenging. He has been in office for 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years is a really long time. And what people in my district are facing with right now is, well, first of all, we have an affordability crisis that
Yeah.
is only going to continue to get worse as this unconstitutional, unjust war that is happening right now in Iran. The Strait of Hormuz, the is stopped there. This is a global disaster
Yeah.
that is happening before our eyes, and it's going to hit people in our district. It'll hit myself, my family, my neighbors, our community. People will not be able to pay for groceries. They will not be able to pay for gas. The
Yeah.
affordability issue is an urgent issue that needs to be worked on and solved, and that it extends to housing. People who don't have homes, who can't afford to live, and we have to make the government work for us here in the United States. Other countries have a different system, and we can see case studies that work for this particular issue in terms of affordability, in terms of housing,
Yeah.
in terms of public infrastructure. We also are facing not just Donald Trump, but the policies that they've been implementing that steal from working people, especially what ICE has been doing. And ICE, that's Immigration Customs Enforcement.
Yeah. 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 I know.
Yeah. And just for your audience, and so ICE has been given a budget that is massive that will continue to take from working people healthcare,
Yeah.
food, SNAP benefits, and they just keep adding more money into ICE. Not only that, though, they're terrorizing our communities. They are literally kidnapping people who are, for the most part, who are not Caucasian. And they
Yeah.
they are doing this, and they're beating up people. They're putting people in cars, and then if somebody has their papers, they let them out after they've already driven around. And this has been going on since basically last June, about around June, which I do ICE patrols with different organizations like the Democrat Socialists.
Yeah.
There's other nonprofits, and we work to, communicate and organize because we have to help our jornaleros, we have to help our communities. So ICE, affordability, these are two really important things. There's a lot of issues that we're
Yeah.
facing with.
All right. Which policies would you like to implement in regards to the affordability crisis in regards to housing, healthcare, education?
Yeah, education is really, really important. And here, um, what Donald Trump's administration was doing with the Department of Education, gutting it,
Yeah.
making it almost impossible for students. It's always about the students. Donald Trump, MAGA, they they always say that they support children, they support these things, but when you actually look at what they're doing, again, they're stealing money, they are stealing education from our youth. And that just goes into the Epstein class and what the Epstein files represents.
Yeah.
And in terms of implementing policies, we do have to have federal support for our schools. I'm in Los Angeles, the 32nd
Yeah.
district, and Los Angeles itself has a massive school district. It's a massive school district, and we do need to invest in these things because if we don't invest in education, if we don't invest in the future of our country, we're going to have a lot of problems. And we can see this now. If we see the education, we see how people vote, and we see what Donald Trump and what they've been doing. Uh, reading, reading languages, like for example, language in America in schools is not the same as in other countries where you will learn multiple languages from an
Yeah.
early age. I think every single child at a public school should have the ability to pick one, two languages that they can learn at the same time as they do their science, they do their math, their history,
Yeah.
because I see how other countries, how young people, how adults, how they're able to speak multiple languages, and that helps in terms of whatever they decide to do. If they want to become a doctor, if they want to go into business, I look at it as that everybody should have equal opportunity. And that's what I want to
Yeah.
invest in. Those are the kind of policies that I want to instill, even at a federal level, but working, collaborating with city, state, county. We can all organize with the different agencies in Los Angeles to create policies that are going to have positive outcomes, not just,
Yeah.
short term, but um, long term results that are going to really grow our community. The 32nd district, I've lived in the 32nd district for a very long time, and I can see that policies are failing. And
Yeah.
this does come back to Brad Sherman. He has been there for 30 years, and he's literally had no positive legislation except for naming a post office. And I'm not making a joke. Like, this is literally what he's done in 30 years. He named a post office. And there's
Yeah.
so much more we can do with our community, public infrastructure, the policies that have not been implemented or or a vision to actually go, hey, we should have public transit that's that is so efficient, that
Yeah.
is good for our environment, that saves people time. In Los Angeles, it is notorious for driving a few kilometers, a few miles, and taking you hours to get there. And this
Yeah.
is not only a it's actually an urgent issue. And so Brad Sherman, for the longest time, would basically kick the can down the road. Bureaucracy delays for heavy rail. Where heavy
Yeah.
rail from the San Fernando Valley to the west side, to UCLA, to LAX, to the airport. We don't have those things here. It's very embarrassing as an American, especially in Los Angeles, that our public infrastructure, our roads, our highways, our lack of subways, lack of heavy rail.
Yeah.
This is LA, and so those are policies that I think that's what I'm going to bring to our district. Really incentivize our community and incentivize organizations, our city, our county, state, and not be beholden to billionaire class that doesn't want
Yeah.
public transit or public infrastructure because they think it will hurt them in some way, which is not true. You guys have public infrastructure, you have trains, you have
Yeah.
subways, you have healthcare, you have all these things. And there's literally no reason we can't. And so I think it's calling out the accountability for that corporate class that has taken over America. And it didn't happen overnight. But these are the policies that I really want to focus on: our healthcare, our public infrastructure, but creating programs that actually are going to actually work and have tangible results. If those results, if we're not measuring those results in a certain period of time, then it's not working or people aren't
Yeah.
doing what they're supposed to. And that's where goes accountability. Brad Sherman's been there for 30 years, and you think that these people are so smart and they're so organized, but the truth is they're not. I have
Yeah.
my own business. We organize our campaign on metrics, and that's how things should be measured. And if we're not measuring those, that's a fail. And if we're measuring them and we're having a little bit of progress, then we're in the right direction.
Yeah. You were talking about ICE, of course. What would you like to see implemented in regards to the, to ICE, of course?
Yeah. Well, first of all, ICE has to be abolished 100%.
Yeah.
And I know the corporate Democrats, I don't consider myself a corporate Democrat. We're a grassroots campaign. Changing the terminology about what to do with ICE. And on Saturday, we had a candidate forum. Brad Sherman was there, and he said he would abolish Trump's ICE. No, that is still ICE.
Yeah.
ICE has not, and it goes back to measuring the statistics, measuring the progress. And we can see just in the past, I don't know, 15 months or whatever it's been, the statistics show that what ICE has been doing has not been what their propaganda has been showing, that they're arresting all these criminals. They are kidnapping children. They
Yeah.
are kidnapping hardworking, tax-paying immigrants that love America because they're sending them to places that they actually are not actually from. They're sending them to places where they escaped because of the country they had to leave. They
Yeah.
are putting Americans in private prisons that are funded by the same people that funded corporate Democrats and Donald Trump's campaign. So that's the problem. And so that's why we have to abolish the system. There is a whole infrastructure that helps ICE continue to do what they're doing. And that infrastructure, we have to start going after that. We have to start cutting
Yeah.
off the funding for immigration customs enforcement. We have to do that. And so I want to see more Democrats say we do need to abolish it. I don't want to see Democrat, and I'm a Democrat. I don't want to see Democrats say, "Oh, the
Yeah.
ICE needs better training." No, no, they don't need better training. This does not help America. My father's an immigrant. My wife is an immigrant. She's a refugee. A lot of my friends are immigrants. We are all immigrants. Where I am in the San Fernando Valley right now, this is Native American land. This is tribal land. And so
Yeah.
we have to get back to the reality of of focusing on humanity and dignity and the funds that are being spent. All of these Americans, myself included, we're paying taxes to fund something that is so morally wrong and morally corrupt that
Yeah.
it is not helping America. When people don't want to come to America anymore because they're afraid of ICE, we have a serious problem. And so I'm not looking at it as just this particular moment. I'm thinking we're in 2026. How about 2036? Sorry, 2036. Where are we going to be? How are we going to be? What does America represent then? And we do have to. This is an urgent thing, but it takes a lot of Americans to speak up, and this is something that we're
Yeah.
working on here.
All right. Well, you were talking about you mentioned authoritarianism, that it's something that is growing with Donald Trump in America. What are the the main views that you have on this?
Well, I think we're in March right now, and so midterms for California are in June in a few months.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many Americans are totally aware of what is happening right now. More people are than there has been, but I think more people are going to have to feel. that pain
Yeah.
that comes with the policies that Donald Trump and MAGA, Stephen Miller, all of these people have been implementing. And when Republicans get beaten so badly in these elections, that's going to start because Republicans do have to grow a spine. I've been talking about a lot of Democrats, but Republicans, they're cowards on another level. Just
Yeah.
reading about them yesterday, how Donald Trump bought them shoes that didn't fit them. I can't believe it's a real story, but it's a real story. And they didn't even
Yeah.
want to say it. It's a real story, right? They don't even want to say to Donald Trump that the shoes don't fit them. So they're walking around with shoes that don't fit them. I mean, that is a metaphor for this administration. They are so cowardly that they would rather trip and fall because a shoe is too big than speak up.
Yeah.
And my point is the Republicans, when they feel it, when they get their asses handed to them, they're going to go, wait a minute. Americans don't want these wars anymore. They campaigned on no wars. They campaigned on so many things, and they're doing the complete
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah. America first. It was the motto.
Exactly, America first. And I've talked to a lot of Republicans recently, and they're so angry. They're like
Yeah.
they lied to us. They lied to us. One Republican told me a couple weeks ago. He said it's a cult, and
Yeah.
and so when they get beaten badly, and hopefully there are a few Democrats that are speaking up. Bernie Sanders always speaks up.
Yeah.
He always
Yeah.
fights. He's 85 years old, I think, and he's not radical. It's so crazy how they've changed the term radical. So I think when the authoritarianism that Donald Trump and MAGA has been implementing hits so hard and so close to home to his voters, it doesn't mean his voters are going to vote for Democrat. But
Yeah.
if they send a message that we're not supporting any Republicans anymore, if they just don't show up to vote, maybe that will be the incentive for this authoritarianism to start to disappear. It's going to be
Yeah.
hard though. It's going to be hard because these people all benefit because incentive, the financial incentives, because money in politics, that is what
Yeah.
seems to be the main incentive for a lot of these politicians. MAGA, corporate Democrats. And there's the people that kind of are, you see Ro Khanna, you see Thomas Massey working together on at least one thing they can agree on, that people in the Epstein files have to be held accountable. Thomas Massey doesn't agree with ICE being abolished. I completely disagree with that. And so, but you do have to go, hey, how do we get rid of this authoritarianism? And it's
Yeah.
going to be the little the little chips here, you know, getting beat up here, beat up there, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 6 months.
Yeah. Well, what I find concerning is that if the results are, Democrats winning the House, I guess that maybe Trump will not recognize the results, and there would be, a very worrying situation if that happens, which I think it'll be the case.
I agree with you 100%. I think what happened January 6th in
Yeah,
2021,
20,
all
yeah,
this
20.
all the science work were there months and months before. Obviously, they had intelligence information about these different domestic terrorist organizations planning things, and they knew that.
Yeah,
And so when Trump starts talking about all these other things now, everybody has to be proactive about this. We're not doing that again. We're not having this happen again. And it might happen. And so when Democrats are capitulating, approving nominees from Donald Trump, they just did this a week ago. I forgot
yeah,
who it was. But you can't approve these nominees and just think it's business as usual. You have to have leverage over them. You have to use every possible thing you have at your disposal
yeah,
to resist. Resist doesn't mean physically fighting. It means using your brain and being creative. In 2021, there's an actors union here in Los Angeles. It's called SAG-AFTRA,
Yeah, I
and
know. There
and
was like a big strike. I,
mhm.
if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yes, you're totally right. And in 2021, I had reached out to the union. I created a social media campaign with a friend to remove Donald Trump from the actors union because he was a
Yeah.
member of the union. And so I didn't realize it,
Oh, I
but
didn't know that. He was a member of the
yeah.
union.
So yeah, he was a member of the union because he did TV shows and movies. And
Yeah.
so I knew that. So we created a social media campaign to remove him from the union. And within
Yeah.
about 2 or 3 weeks, the SAG-AFTRA board decided to remove Donald Trump from the union. And it was more of a symbolic thing, but that's because of what I did with my friend to be proactive, be creative. And I wasn't in community, I wasn't in public service, but that's one of the businesses that I am involved with. And he was removed. And that's because we did that. And I'm just a guy. I'm just a regular dude who
Yeah.
and but my point is if I could do that with limited resources, people in our government and Congress, oh, I have to get off soon. Uh, uh, Anything can be done. We have to be proactive, and that's what I want to
Yeah.
see happen.
Yeah. What are your views on foreign policy? You know, the and of course, regarding APAC and the Israel lobby.
Yes, and I might have to get off in about 7 8 minutes. Is that okay? Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
In terms of APAC, I completely oppose APAC. APAC's influence in our political system is is corrupt. It is un-American. It is dark money, special interests that we can see this in the past few years, how certain politicians who take APAC money, how they vote and how they say things and certain things they won't say. What's happened in
Yeah.
Gaza is a genocide. There are experts who are uh, beyond anybody else in that particular field of study. When you have these organizations saying what's happened in Gaza is a genocide, it is morally irresponsible to dismiss them. We can see with our own eyes, and there are experts who can say, yes,
Yeah.
these are the things that qualify as a genocide. This happened, this happened, this happened. And when you have these politicians and you have APAC who also supported the Republicans who would not certify the 2020 election, the APAC funded those people.
Yeah.
They like to play both sides. That is not democratic. And so APAC special interest money that influences how these elected officials make their decisions. Working people are always the people who suffer every single time. And this is the one of the most important issues and problems that we have to solve. We have to overturn Citizens United. Corporations are not people.
Yeah.
They don't it's not speech. People always deserve the right to speak. And when you're letting corporations run amok at the expense of people, these are the problems that we do need to solve.
Yeah. Well, the last question, so you
Yeah.
can go, would be about, well, your analysis in general of this second term in office of Donald Trump.
And before I forget, you mentioned Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu, he is a war criminal. He is a
Yeah.
wanted war criminal. And, I think that's something the United States in terms of changing it so that the International Criminal Court, we do need to be part of that. So if Benjamin Netanyahu did come to the United States, we should arrest him. We should hold him accountable. And so I just had to put that out there. In terms of Donald Trump's second term, he is not a
It's
well person. He
yeah.
is not well physically. He is not well mentally. He clearly has dementia. He clearly has health issues that he is not being transparent about. He is a morally failed human being.
Yeah.
The Epstein files, they campaigned on the Epstein files being released, and he is clearly all over the Epstein files. There is the amounts of evidence, the
Yeah.
alleged things that he has done to children, whether it's trafficking, et cetera, et cetera. People should be angry about these things.
Yeah.
People should be so upset. And his term is an embarrassment to the history of America. It is an embarrassment to humankind. You can have difference of opinions if you're more conservative, if you're more liberal.
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah,
end of the
totally.
day, yeah, that's fine. That's great. Have difference of opinions, have dialogue, have conversation. But Donald Trump has ruined people's lives, not
Yeah.
just in America, not just in the 32nd district, but in the entire world. And people like Brad Sherman, who I'm challenging, they capitulate to Donald Trump, agreeing to their face. I agree with you on your tariff policy,
Yeah.
agreeing with dropping bombs in Iran. These people love war. They love the military industrial complex, but they
Yeah.
don't appreciate being a human being and what that means. It's not about you,
Yeah.
it's about your neighbor, it's about your community, it's about whether it's people in Spain, whether it's people in the United States. It's we're all human beings, all going through the same struggles, and we want to have the ability to take care of our family, not work every
Yeah.
single day, go to the beach, eat good food. This is what life is about, and they have showed us what we can do so that we can have a better life for our friends and our neighbors across the world and our allies.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I think for me, I know the world is a beautiful place, and we can come there together, and it takes all of us. And you guys, by the way, you lead with so many different things by putting your foot out there and going, nope, we're not agreeing to this. It's not that we're
Yeah.
alone, it's we're leading. We're leading.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for answering all my questions.
De nada, es muy importante. Yo practico mi español con tú.
Muy bien. Bien, bien.
Uh, 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 yo tengo muchos amigos y amigas de España in Los Angeles.
Great.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Keep up the good work, and thank you for reaching out to me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
All right, you too. Hasta luego. Bye.
Bye.